be lots of photographs taken today, I'm sure, particularly of these lovely old Spitfires and Hurricanes. Not very many Hurricanes left flying nowadays. Hurricane on the left. And they're all gathering in the old aircraft park. Very exciting day for the young kids particularly. And there's another recently refurbished Spitfire in French Air Force colours, D-Day markings. Actually belongs to my colleague Alan de Cadenet. He's not flying it today, although we do expect to hear from him airborne later on. Often the most difficult part for Spitfire pilots, actually putting it back down on the ground. And that one joining the aircraft park as well.
The undisputed highlight of this year's show was the Special Battle of Britain commemoration. There were over 20 World War II aircraft in attendance, with a strong selection of Spitfires and Hurricanes. Leading the display is Charlie Brown, who knows both the Spitfire and Hurricane very well. So how is the vintage aircraft scene developing?
We're trying to make it more professional, but still keeping the fun in it. The restorations are getting better and better. I believe that the skills are still there to fly these aircraft, and there's no reason why we can't just carry on flying these aircraft. I think the main thing is not to exceed our abilities, not to exceed the aircraft's abilities. After all, we're not here to show our own skills, we're here to show the aeroplane to the public.
Another seasoned pilot flying in the formation is John Romaine. John, I think you've flown in the tastiest of the Spitfires in its early war guise.
Absolutely. This aircraft was restored with that in mind, so it's restored as a stock Spitfire, even to the point where the cannons in the wings and the machine guns are actually all in the aeroplane. And that's it's a big part of it. The cockpit's the same, it's very complete, just as they would have been.
So in fact we could, armour up and go and do some mischief?
We could, yeah.
RAF Cottesmore is a currently active station and was home to the Royal International Air Tattoo for the first time this year. Altogether, over 150,000 people turned out to watch this tribute.
Well, just a few veterans from those momentous days. They hear 60 years on as the sky above Biggin Hill is once again filled with the evocative sound of Merlin engines and the sight of those most elegant and surely significant fighters in British aviation history. R.J. Mitchell's brilliant design developed through many guises throughout the war, from the Mark II to the Mark 19 and beyond, and they're all represented here thanks to the loving care and attention of dedicated enthusiasts. A fly past led by Flight Lieutenant Charlie Brown, who's the officer commanding the standards flight at the Joint Elementary Flying Training School at Barkston Heath near Cramble. There he is in the lead. He should have been leading 3 Vics of 3, but there are a couple of aircraft not there, as so often happens with aircraft of this vintage, a couple of unserviceabilities. Most distinctive colour scheme nearest the camera from the Royal Netherlands Air Force, flown by Major General Berry Mako, 25 years in the Royal Netherlands Air Force. all a tasty aperitif for the main course that will provide the climax of the show today, a mass fly-past of Spitfires and Hurricanes. That's all to come later. And here, a lone Spitfire from the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, one of their 5, but this the most significant perhaps because it is the oldest airworthy Spitfire in the world and the only one that actually took part in the Battle of Britain. Believed to be the 14th aircraft built at Castle Bromwich in Birmingham, entered service in August 1940. And also from the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, one of only 2 Lancasters left flying in the world, the other one's in Canada, out of the 7,377 that were built. This one never actually saw active wartime service. It was built in Chester in mid-1945 and then went down to Africa to be used as a photo reconnaissance aircraft. He joined the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight in 1973 and was gradually restored. We'll be seeing more of her later.